Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another speed build, and we're actually creating a loft, which is not something I've done in a while. I've been kind of itching to do it, and I wasn't sure which style I wanted to go with, but then I realized that there's this really popular interior design trend called organic modern, and I feel like we've been seeing a lot of it over the last few years. It's basically a modern style that blends modern minimalism with nature or nature's beauty, like natural elements, natural fibers, warm neutral tones and textures and natural materials, but it's incorporated into a more contemporary space. And I think it ends up looking really cozy and comforting. So I wanted to create a loft in that style today. So that is what we are doing. I started by just building a box on this lot and making it 2 levels. And then by drawing a fence across, you're able to delete the floor on one side to create a lofted space. And I go back and forth between the outside of this build and the inside of this build to decorate it, because my main focus was the interior, but I wanted the outside to look nice as well. So you'll see for a while we don't have a roof or any paint on the outside of the house. I just have the basic structure, and we decorate it towards the end, and I think it comes out really cool. I'm really happy with this build. I had so much fun creating this, as well as making the thumbnail and everything associated with it. I did build this over on Twitch first, so if you'd like to see the full live stream, you can find the VOD over on twitch.tv/Gryphi, and you can also join us in the future if you'd like to be part of builds, hang out, chit chat, and all of that while we create some stuff in The Sims. It's always a good time. So I will have links to that down below if you'd like to join us. I do stream on Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern and on Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. So my next stream will be on Sunday. I'm excited about it. I'm pretty sure we're starting a shell challenge, so it might be a fun time to join in. But anyway, on the kitchen here, I have the basic layout that I want to go with. I wanted to have a sort of an L shape here, but I didn't really want it to have island counters, but I wanted it to have that shape. So I play with a couple of different ways of achieving that, and you'll see it come together in the end. I end up combining like a cabinet piece, and these end up rotating so that they're not facing the opposite way, because right now I have normal counters facing outside of the kitchen, so you'd be standing on the incorrect side. It's a little confusing, but we get there in the end. I do end up having the sink under this really pretty arched window, which I believe is from Get to Work. It's not one I use very often, but I really like it, and I thought it worked nicely in this space. I like the accents of black that I have throughout. It really adds to that modern feel. I also used these upperhead cabinets, which are from Dream Home Decorator. They are not the same swatch of wood, but I still really liked them, and I thought they kind of fit here. And the flooring I'm using is from Cats and Dogs. I just mixed a lot of different wood tones and textures in this space, and it's very neutral. I feel like I've been into the neutral builds lately, but I've also posted a couple of like rainbow things. So there's been quite a variety, but I think this came out so cute in the end. If you'd like to download it, by the way, it will be available in the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. I will also have it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that info is also in the description down below as well. So right now I'm just cluttering up some open shelving, which is definitely something I wanted to include here. And these shelves are actually like 2 shelves that are stuck together, and they came with the fitness stuff pack, and I just thought that they were the perfect look for this kitchen, because they're that, raw material of wood, but they have a really fun shape to them, and I like how it's like 2 different tones. I also added a lot of plants in the space, just like throughout the entire apartment, but there's a couple here, and I got a bread box as well. I wanted it to feel as cluttered as I could without it being too cluttered, if that makes sense, because I wanted it to still have that appearance of like modern minimalism as this aesthetic has. So there's definitely some clutter throughout. It's just not excessive. I also decided to add the plant over here in the corner, and I raised up a laundry basket to go around it so it looks like it's a plant in a basket. I also hung up these pots and pans over the window. It's kind of odd, but I also sort of love it. So I was quite happy how that fit perfectly over that space. And then we just got some jars in the corner with another plant. And I thought about putting a bookcase over here. This is from the Book Nook kit. It doesn't end up staying in there in the end. I move it upstairs, and then it just goes away completely. It just ends up not fitting in. But I do create this little seating space under the window over here, using some of the cabinet pieces. all the way down to the ground, and I end up extending those under the stairs. The problem is at some point in time, they just disappeared and I had to replace them. So you'll see that at the end of the build, all of a sudden, I am re-adding those in because they disappeared. But this chandelier was absolutely perfect. It's from the Desert Luxe kit, and it just has those beautiful materials of the, like, they're kind of like woven materials for the lighting. It's like ropes sort of, or more of a rattan. It's kind of hard to tell what material it's supposed to be, but I thought they were so perfect, and I was also really excited about what I did for the coffee table. I ended up using this stool, which is a seat you can sit on from Jungle Adventure, and I scaled it up and then I kind of pushed it down into the ground using a tool, and it is perfect for a coffee table. I love these more like rustic types of coffee tables mixed with like the modern furniture. The couches I used in here I thought were really cute as well, or I only end up using one of them, but the couch I'm using here, the Love Seat, is from the Pastel Pop Kit in the white swatch. There's a lot of really fun pastel colors on there, but I thought a neutral one made the most sense here, and I paired it with this chair from the Book Nook kit, and I ended up using the lamp from that kit as well. I thought about using the other one from Growing Together, but I opted for this one in the end, and I also got a really fun squiggly mirror behind the chair over here. This is also from the Pastel Pop Kit. I just thought it was a fun touch that kind of blends the two ideas together. And then in the kitchen space, I end up getting this big sliding glass door, which is from Island Living. I thought this was the perfect place to have a exit to a more private outdoor space. I was kind of imagining this loft as being something that might be part of like some townhouses attached together. But this was an end unit and they had an outdoor area. I didn't build anyone's attached to this because it would just be extra money, or Sims would be paying for the extra property and all of that, all of the different walls and rooms and furniture. But that could be something fun to do down the line. I have done quite a few builds like that where I've done like an apartment building or a townhouse or just something of that nature. But for this one, I just kind of wanted to imagine if this was a one-off, but it had the same style as something that might be attached in a longer unit like that. But outside in this courtyard, I'll be decorating it a little bit later on, but I just wanted to get the general vibe of what I wanted to go with out there with the stone work on the floor, as well as some string lights, and it just ends up looking really cozy. I was really happy with it. Inside, I end up using these curtains, also from the Desert Luxe kit. I use a lot of that kit in this build. It's one of my favorite ones, and for a long time it was free, which was really nice. But it just has some really useful items that I use all of the time in like most of my builds. I also really wanted to use that wall plant that I just placed down over there. I placed it down and like moved it around a bunch of different times, but it ended up working perfectly at the staircase, like heading up that wall there. I thought that looked quite nice. And then we're just getting a TV over here. It's not necessary, but I do like to add TVs to my Sims builds. It just feels realistic to me. And then I combined these two tables together, so it looks like there's a little bit of storage. And I added a pile of baskets over here as well, which is from the Laundry Day stuff pack. I moved this pampas grass around so many different times, and I think it stays there, but I was very indecisive about it because I really wanted to have a lot of greenery, but I also liked how that looked in this space. And then I added those little windows heading up the staircase. I thought that looked so nice. And in this bedroom space, I was really struggling with where to put the bed because I wanted to have a closet and a bathroom. And what I ended up doing is putting the closet in the bathroom, which I've seen a lot in like tours of homes and townhouses and stuff. It's quite realistic, but it's not something I do in The Sims very often. So I decided today would be a good time to do that so that we could have a better floor plan up here. I ended up using this bed that came with Growing Together in a very neutral swatch, and that same chandelier from downstairs with the like multi-toned pieces there. So we have one that's a darker brown, a lighter brown, and a black. And of course, getting lots of plants in this space. I just wanted it to look super cozy and comforting. And I don't know, I feel like I see a lot of vloggers and stuff have this aesthetic in their homes right now. I feel like it's very popular and trendy and really cozy. I feel like it's going to be a style that's looked back on as very beige, and technically it is, but I also feel like it has some nice like warm tones, and a lot of the walls tend to be white. I did add some wood paneling in this house just to spice it up a little bit, And I will take any excuse I can to use this wood paneling from Eco Lifestyle. It's my favorite wallpaper in the entire game, but a lot of this style tends to have white walls, a very specific color of wood floor that we don't have in The Sims 4, so I just picked one I thought was pretty, and mostly white furniture, to be honest. So I ended up using a lot of that, but there also tends to be a lot of like black windows, so I wanted to add black accents in general, so I have the black railing and fence up here in the loft space, lots of plants and cozy materials and chairs, and I don't know. It was just really fun. I really like this space. I feel like I could relax so well here. I would love to like curl up in this bed in this lofted space and read a book. That just sounds so nice. And maybe I'll have my Sims do that. But anyway, up here, I got that same table that I have downstairs, and we're going to have another TV here. And I believe I added a poof under there as well, just for some more texture. I wanted to make sure we had plenty of that in this space. I use a lot of fluffy rugs, which I really like. We don't really have the type of rug I exactly wanted to use. It's kind of hard to explain. I guess some of the ones from Laundry Day and Eco Lifestyle can be kind of comparable, but I sort of wanted like a jute rug, sort of. It's kind of hard to like tell in The Sims what rugs are supposed to be, what material. Some of them are very obvious to tell, but I think the fluffy rugs worked as well because they look so cozy, and of course that texture, it's just lovely. But anyway, this is the upstairs bathroom. There ends up being a downstairs one too. It's just a half bath that has a sink and a toilet. So this is a little bit of an awkward layout because we have a closet in here, and I will have to double check that this is all functional because of accessing the closet. I can never remember which side of the closet they need access to for it to work, because you don't have to have both sides open. But if it's an issue, I can fix that. It should be pretty easy. But in here, I just wanted to get a couple of things around so it looks like it's being used, but not too cluttered. So we end up having some toothpaste and a toothbrush, as well as some soap. And then it's a little cluttered in here, but I just thought that this one item from Laundry Day needed to be in here. There's this swatch with the baskets, and it's in like grays and blacks, and it has all those little shelves there. So I decided to clutter those up with a couple of different items. We get some candles and lotions, and I think a plant. Just a couple of things just to fill in the space and add a little bit more personality to this bathroom, and I guess storage as well. It's open shelving, but it's still storage. I thought about adding a basket up there, but it didn't look quite right. So I think, I added some tissues in the end, and then we just get a little rug in front of the bathtub, and that's it for that bathroom pretty much, other than I think a bathrobe, because I always add those in builds. I just think it's nice. And then we're by the front door. I decided to change the front door. I thought that this one from University would be perfect, and I'm so happy that I did that. It fits the style exactly how I would want it to. It feels traditional, but also super modern at the same time. And I really liked that. I guess contemporary is the word I'm looking for, but I quite enjoyed that. And then I just got some shoes and a mirror by the front door, so your Sims have a place to take off their shoes as well as check what they're looking like before they leave. This is where I'm replacing back a bunch of these cabinet pieces. They just disappeared, and I don't know why, because I didn't reload the lot, so I don't know what's going on there. But now we are working on the roofing, which I had no idea what I wanted to do with this. I just started with a box, and I was like, okay, there is not an interesting shape going on here. What do I do? I end up doing this for a while and then just leaving it, and I come back to it a little bit later and extend out the eaves on the roofs to make it a little bit more of a pretty common modern shape that I've done quite a few times, but I thought it worked really nicely for this house. So we'll get to that in a little while, but first I'm just placing down some landscaping, trying to make it better because I really wasn't sure what to do with this roof. I also thought it might look better if I added a carport over here, which made sense to me to have a place for some parking and also make the house look less like just one big box. So I just added that and put a debug car and got some pathway up to the front door, some of these like little debug rocks. And just gonna play around with some terrain paint, get a little pathway leading from that side yard to the entry. And the side yard actually ends up being so cute. I know it doesn't have like yard space, it's all like rocks, but that's what I wanted. I wanted like this really cute, like Instagram worthy courtyard sort of. It's not a courtyard, but I think you understand what I mean, with all of the string lights and a beautiful table, like candles and plants and a barbecue, just like a cozy space for you to entertain out here that matches the aesthetic of the rest of the space. This set of chairs I tried to use inside, but they just didn't have the right swatch, but I love them so much. I thought that they were perfect for this style. They're from, oh goodness, I think they're from Seasons. And then the table with the piece of fabric going down it, the runner, that is from My Wedding Stories. And I just thought it was so beautiful out here. So I included that. We also got another of those trees in the corner from Jungle Adventure, a little rug, our trash can, and I will be getting the bigger barbecue that has like the built-in mini fridge and stuff in it that came with the Desert Luxe kit. It doesn't have a functional fridge. It just looks like it has a fridge, but I still think it's really cute. And then I also get some lighting out here as well. So there's additional lights other than the string lights. I really like these ones. I use them a lot, but I just feel like they fit so many different builds. So I ended up using them here again. And then this is where I'm messing with the roofs, and you'll understand what I meant. I don't know what to call this style of like house or roof, but it's pretty common for like more modern style houses, I guess. So that's what I ended up going with here. And then I ended up painting the parts that were inside a little bit. So we have the black over on one side, and then I bring this wood texture outside, and it instantly like transformed the outside of this house. I was so glad that I decided to do that, because for a while I was like, okay, I love the interior, but the outside, I don't know what to do with it. So I'm glad I figured it out in the end. I think it looks so cute. Definitely let me know what you think of this build, and if you'd like to see some more loft builds on the channel, because they're some of my favorites to do. I've just always wished I had a loft. I know in practice I'd probably not like it because I like having separate rooms, but there's something just so dreamy about the idea of a loft for some reason. So yeah, anyway, just adding some last couple touches of landscaping. We get some of these live edit objects fences to kind of separate off the lot and make it feel a little bit more private. And I move some of the terrain paint around so that the driveway meets up with it a bit better, as well as getting some more flowers and shrubs and all of that around. And fixing the roof in the back so it matches what I did in the front of the build. And of course, adding some more trees. But that's pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you all so very much for watching. Enjoy the screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.